Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Ajinkya from collegeindia.com. Welcome to this initiative called Thoughts on Education by collegeindia.com. So, here we are actually doing interviews with various dignitaries, understanding about the education process in India, and on the way also helping students with various initiatives and various courses that are offered across India. So, we are very happy to have you here, ma'am. And
Thank you.
yeah, just a small introduction of ma'am for the people who are looking at this interview. Pooja Valecha ma'am is currently an assistant professor of Symbiosis Institute of Media and Communication, Pune. She heads the media management specialization at SIMC and is also the faculty in charge for admissions. Pooja ma'am is also pursuing her PhD from Symbiosis International University. Her research interests lie in the area of internet marketing, content marketing, and consumption of video content over the internet. Before joining academics, ma'am has almost a decade of experience working in various media businesses like management, consulting, marketing, and media planning. She Her last position was as an AGM with Dentsu Aegis Network, and during her tenure, the agency was acclaimed as the campaign agency of the year and was also awarded at the EMVIES along with the host of other industry awards and credits. So, uh, welcome, ma'am, and we will start with the interview.
Thank you, Ajinkya.
Yeah.
Please.
So the first question that I have, ma'am, is what is exactly MBA in communication management, and how does it is different from other regular MBAs?
Sure. So, SIMC offers this MBA in communication management, which is actually a specialized MBA in itself. So, if I were to put it in layman terms, SIMC takes the marketing specialization of the general MBA and then further specializes it and then trains students in various aspects of that part of the business. So, you're actually still dealing with management of the business, but you're working with the communication business. And this is clearly reflected in the 4 specializations that SIMC offers, which is brand communication, media management, which is really relating with the media planning and the business of media aspect of it. The 3rd specialization is public relations, and the 4th is marketing and media analytics, which is a lot of research and analysis in the communication and that media space business that is. In fact, SIMC's MBA in communication management is actually the only degree in the country which offers you an MBA in PR. So that kind of makes this program extremely different and special in that sense. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. And ma'am, so the people that are coming for MBA CM, what is generally the academic and professional background of the MBA students that are coming in for this particular program?
So, Ajinkya, at some point in time, you would think that since this is a specialized program, probably, people who have done their graduation in media or similar space will be the ones to opt for it. But actually, they're just about 15% of our batch. If I look at, the last 2, 3, 4 batches, they are about just 10 to 15%. And we actually get an almost equal number of students across streams. So we'll probably have the same number of BAs as BComs as engineers. In fact, if I look at the last couple of years data, we've also had architects and dentists, right? So just like you would probably look at any other MBA college across the country with a completely mixed and varied background, that's exactly what we have even for our MBA CM program. In fact, if you look at the batch composition, about half of them are freshers and the other half come with some kind of work ex. So just like, if a candidate would look at any other MBA college in terms of the profile of the batch, ours is almost exactly the same. Probably the only difference is their passion and their interest in doing this kind of a course.
Absolutely. And ma'am, so you mentioned about the course that 50% of the students coming in are from the general background. So what are the some of the interesting subjects that we can look forward in doing this MBA, and how are they aligned with the industry requirements?
Sure. So SIMC's course is spread, the 2-year course is spread across 4 semesters. The first one is a foundation semester, which is mainly to put all students at par, and it kind of covers courses like business stats, economics, accounting, basics of management, which are, available across MBA colleges. But then it also introduces students to the media and entertainment industry. So we have a course called the Overview of Media and Entertainment Industry, which introduces students to the various media. So how is the television business in the country? How did television in India start? What does the business look like? The same with newspapers, to all the way to events and sports business and so on and so forth. So there's that course. There's a course on integrated marketing communication, a course on communication theories and culture, and all of these are courses which are in the first semester. The second and third semesters are more detail-oriented semesters where students get an in-depth understanding of a lot of common courses as well as courses in their chosen specialization. So for example, BrandCom students will have and are known to enjoy subjects like advertising management or specialized ad research. Media management students will have courses like strategic media planning, economics and business of media. PR students will study courses like strategic PR and reputation management or corporate communication strategy. Marketing and media analytics students will study consumer brand and media insights. They'll study multivariate data analysis, right? So they will study all of these across their specialization. And along with that will be a lot of common courses which students across specializations will study. But across all these courses, the key thing is in the current times the focus on digital. So while each of the courses that I mentioned or any of the other courses will have digital as a key component of the syllabus. So for example, if I am talking, let's say, about media planning, right, then I will also talk about digital media planning and digital media buying. Or if I talk about corporate communication, I will also focus on how do you do corporate communication in a digital world. So there will also be things like social media analytics and so on and so forth. So while all courses cover digital as a part of their syllabus, yet there is a host of courses dedicated specially to digital media. So like in the first semester, you'll start with digital ecosystem, move to digital marketing in semester 2, and even have courses like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality, right? So, but the key thing is that the entire curriculum is kept extremely updated and in line with real-time changes in the industry. Every year we kind of relook at the courses, have a formal discussion with industry veterans, a few of the older alum, and what is it that's happening. We look at the placement statistics in terms of, so what is it, where do our students get placed, what are the profiles that they look at, and then according to that, the courses are kept that nimble that our program structure can change in keeping in line with what's happening. So yeah.
Excellent, ma'am. Excellent to know. And ma'am, since this MBA is generally, it's the general MBAs, we all know that entrance exam is CAT, and it is generally known to various people. So can you just highlight the admission process that is there for this particular program of communication management MBA, and what are all the factors that students should keep in mind while applying?
Right. I think so. The admission to SIMC's MBA CM program happens through SNAP, which is the Symbiosis National Aptitude Test. Yes. Right. So students, candidates are supposed to apply on the SNAP website, and then they have to choose and register for SIMC. So SNAP as an exam is for all MBA courses across the Symbiosis University universe. So you as a candidate, you have to select which of these courses that you wish to opt for, and then of course you pay whatever is the registration fee for each of those colleges. So that's exactly what you do. for getting admission to SIMC's MBA CM program as well. Once you do that, you've registered, you write the SNAP test, right? Now, basis your score in the SNAP test, candidates are shortlisted by SIMC for the second phase of the admission process. So usually the second phase involves what we call a GE PIVAT process, right? When I say GE PIVAT, I'm actually referring to group exercise, personal interaction, and written aptitude test, which are the three components that the second part of this admission process involves, right? The scores are then totaled for both the phases, based on which the merit list is then and the subsequent wait lists are arrived at. But what one needs to keep in mind while applying is really the genuineness of the candidate, right? The genuine desire to be a part of this vibrant industry, and of course the integrity to work for it, which is why we don't have a personal interview. We have a personal interaction, which is more like a one-on-one mentoring session with industry veterans and college professors, where the purpose is to gauge the same genuineness, this willingness to work hard, and a clarity of choice for this industry. So instead of, having a very rigorous interview process where we ask you all of those difficult MBA questions, it's more like a mentoring process that happens during the personal interaction. It's mainly about, understanding a candidate's fit and their clarity of choice, really. Yeah, so, what the MBA coaching institutes teach you about all of those answers, they kind of fall flat when you appear for an interaction process at SIMC. So that's what makes it kind of different. Go on.
Excellent, ma'am. So you don't have to be afraid of this particular interview, because generally for the MBA interviews, people are
that's exactly.
People are generally afraid of the MBA interviews. Yes, excellent, ma'am. And ma'am, since this year with the COVID situation and everything, a lot of things have changed. So can you highlight the changes that have happened in SNAP format this year, and how it is going to affect the chances of the students to get into SIMC Pune?
Sure. So, the other year, SNAP has been a 2-hour long 150 questions exam. But this year it's been reduced because of the pandemic and a whole lot of other issues. It's been reduced to 1 hour long exam with 60 questions.
Okay.
And instead of happening only once, it will happen thrice, right? And so the candidate can, depending on their personal situations and availability and all of that, they will have an opportunity to choose the dates that are convenient for them. They can also sit for it any 2 times of the 3 that it will be conducted. And whatever is their best score among those 2 is what will get calculated or used for the shortlisting process. The other thing that has changed is also the sections. So till last year, we had English, quant, analytical and logical reasoning, and current affairs. This year, the current affairs section has been removed, and also the weightages for the remaining 3 sections have changed. So earlier, the other 3 sections had equal weightage. This year, they're kind of different. So, in case anybody wants the exact details on those, they can go to either the SIMC website for those details, or the snaptest.org, which is the snap test website, and get those details. But yes, the major change is that it is happening thrice instead of once. It's an hour-long thing, and the sections have changed. So it is a pretty drastic change that has been made in SNAP this year.
Okay. Excellent. And ma'am, so you mentioned about the format that has been changed for exams. So can you also elaborate about how the SIMC Pune transformed its classes and curriculum, keeping in mind that the online lectures are there in the wake of pandemic and people are not actually able to come into the classes and get the knowledge that is being given by the professors? So how do you manage that exactly?
So this has been, a learning experience for everybody. But what we've done at SIMC is to, make all efforts to ensure that in everything the learning of students is not affected in any manner, despite the fact that especially our first year students have not even been able to get inducted on the campus. So that batch started its course in June, and when there was lockdown in the country and nobody, so they haven't even come to the campus. The second years at least have had 1 year on the campus, but our entire focus was to ensure that despite all of that, they are able to get inducted into the environment of SIMC, and their learning is not impacted at all. So every year we have a week-long induction process. This year, that induction process itself was 2 weeks long to ensure that the new students get acclimatized to SIMC. This process included a lot of mentorship, a lot of industry talks from industry veterans, and a lot of alum who came back to share their experience, right? So the classes have been happening online to ensure the learning, the interactivity level of our courses has increased. So we are there are a lot of specialized media softwares which are installed in our media computer lab. We've ensured remote and VPN access for those softwares so that the students can continue to practice and better themselves and on those. There have been a whole host of webinars with a lot of industry veterans, and both Indian and international. So for example, we've had Mr. Ambi Parmeshwaran, who's the veteran admin. We've had Mr. Karthik Nagarajan, who's the chief content officer at Wavemaker, or Mr. Tarun Katyal, the CEO of Z5. All of these have been able to come and share their own experiences and their wisdom with the students. The online format, so while we've been discussing about the problems with the online format, it also provided us with an opportunity to get a lot of international veterans, which probably may not have traveled to India and been able to meet our students. So for example, we got Mr. Guan Hin Te, who's the Chief Creative Officer at BBDO Singapore. Or we got Mr. Gabor George Burt, who's the founder of the Slingshot Group in the USA, right? We could do all of that in the online format. We also introduced what we call the SIMC's International Faculty Lecture Series, right? Where we have international faculty take actually in-class sessions with our students. So for example, Dr. Andrew Sharma from Salisbury University, US, delivered a lecture on documentary filmmaking. Or the Professor Bruno Trebol from DePaul University, Chicago. He took a lecture on practices of management and organizational behavior, right? So all of those things were possible because of the entire online format. When it comes to classes, the classes were held both in the synchronous, that's live session mode, as well as asynchronous or the recorded mode. Of course, a majority of them was kept in a live mode to simulate the actual classroom experience where the teacher talks about a particular topic and the students question and there's a discussion around that. So most of the sessions were kept in that format. Other than that, SIMC also has had a very strong faculty mentorship program where each of us faculty mentor a group of students. This year, that program has also been on overdrive, to ensure that while learning happens for all students, their overall well-being is also taken care of, considering everything that's happening in the environment. So while the faculty and the management are making all of these efforts and the university is making so much effort, our second year students have also done a commendable job in inducting their juniors to SIMC. Their entire clubs and all co-curricular and extracurricular engagements have been moved online. And they've gone the extra mile in ensuring that the juniors are comfortable and they understand the culture and they are a part of everything that is happening at SIMC. So overall, it's the entire community of SIMC. So all the way from the university to the management to faculty to the senior students that have kind of taken this new normal, as the word is, to make it as beneficial as possible for all the students and to ensure that the learning just goes on.
Yeah. So ma'am, although the new students or the students in first year have not been able to join the campus, the institute as well as students have tried to compensate for that in a different manner. and
Yes. Yes.
I hope that actually worked. So, ma'am, excellent. Just one question that I wanted to ask more. So, do you think during this lockdown, we seen any increased importance for media and entertainment domain? And if you have seen that increase, do you think it is there to stay for a long time?
See, in terms of when you talk about the importance, all right. So one thing that definitely went up is media consumption, right? During the
Right.
lockdown, people were at home a lot longer than they were in other times. So at home, they were
True.
consuming a lot more media. And when I say media, I am talking all forms of media, from television to social media to using a lot of voice and video conferencing to using a lot of mobile, and all of those are a part of the entire media domain. So the consumption of media did increase drastically. Also, with that increase, it obviously brought in more revenues, it brought in more advertising, which was then an added benefit for the entire advertising and the marketing community across the country. Also, there were a lot more changes in consumption behavior. So for example, people viewed a lot more news, right, than they were viewing in pre-COVID times. So that kind of
Definitely.
brought about some change in the way the industry structures were functioning. But the greatest change, and the one that is really to stay, is the increased importance of digital media. So, in normal circumstances, this kind of growth of digital media, the number of subscribers or the number of people, the amount of content that is now on digital media would have normally taken at least 2-3 more years, if there was no COVID. But
Yes.
with everything that happened, the consumption and the spread of digital media has increased drastically, and that is one change that is there to stay. So, and exactly, which is why when I was talking about the courses at SIMC, and they kind of reflecting this digital nature. So I hope you're kind of moving in line with that. But the good news for all of us is that, especially with the advertising revenues now more or less becoming stable with the pre-COVID times, digital media increasing, and generally the consumption and reach of media increasing, our industry as such is getting more and more stable and on a growth path. So that's probably good news for all of us.
Absolutely, ma'am. Definitely. Thank you very much for your time, ma'am. I am very sure that anyone who is coming on College India website, as well as anyone who is viewing this video, will definitely be helped in a certain way, and they'll definitely get things very clear. I'm very sure about it, ma'am. Thank you for your time, and thank you from College
Thank
India
you so
team, ma'am.
much,
Thank
Ajinkya.
you
It
very
was a
much.
pleasure.